I have here on my iPad a list of the typical taxes you would pay if you live in Europe and the United States. Now, as you probably know, I consult people on second citizenships and passports, and people come to me for various different reasons. Sometimes they want better travel, sometimes they want to have the same citizenship as their spouse, sometimes it's because they want to send their kids to school in Europe and it's much easier to do it on a Circassian passport, etc. There are many reasons, but one of the reasons it comes down to is tax efficiency and optimization. It's not necessarily avoiding tax, it's just legally optimizing your tax if you work and reside internationally. But if you are in Europe, here are the taxes you would pay. Now, I've chosen a figure of 80,000 US dollars, or the equivalent in pounds and euros, although most of our clients earn a lot more than that, but 80,000 seems to be a good benchmark. Although if you earn over 100,000 or the $400,000 mark, like a lot of our clients are, you'd be paying considerably more. But if you live in the United States and you earn 80,000 US dollars a year, you would pay 20% tax and you take home approximately $59,000. In the United Kingdom, you would be paying 29% tax, so £80,000, you would take home approximately 56,000. Spain, higher still, not a surprise. You would be paying 36% tax. So you would take home 51,000 euros on your 80,000 euro salary. Germany, surprised by this, 40%. You would take home 48,000 euros. How you live off that, I don't know. That is less than 1,000 euros a week. I know people who plow through that per month. And then France, not a surprise, even higher. France, you would be paying 43% tax. So your 80,000 euros, you would take home 45,000 euros. Again, it is not much to live off, especially if you are trying to rent an apartment, buy a car, support a family. I don't know how you can live off that. And that is not all. This is just on your pay. If you take all the other taxes into account, VAT, fuel duties, etc., 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 you are most likely paying over half your income in tax. So is it any wonder that people are looking for better options? The fact that your governments are taking over 50% of what you earn and not delivering a good product. They are not effectively doing the jobs very well. Don't forget, in medieval times, I think the tax was as low as 10% and less. In fact, in Roman times, I think there was a news story I read that when it was a few thousand years ago, they would tax you 1 or 2%, and that increased by 1% to cover the war. Don't quote me on that, but I'm sure I read that somewhere. And it just shows how the hell have we gone from 1 or 2% tax a few thousand years ago to 50% tax today. Why does a government need to take half your earnings to simply manage a country? It is ridiculous. It is crazy. And no wonder people are moving abroad in droves. And if you have an international income, if you're a remote teacher, if you're a designer, if you're a consultant, if you have the ability to work internationally, then you can just avoid this issue. You can set up a structure. You can buy a citizenship in a country like Dominica or St. Kitts, or in Africa, São Tomé Príncipe. These are tax-free countries. You have your citizenship there, you pay zero tax. And then you combine that with a residency in a low-tax country. Dubai, Bali, many places in South America and Europe also. You combine a tax-free citizenship, tax-free residency, typically don't spend more than 6 months of the year in any country, and you can quite legally lower your tax bill often to zero. That means if you earn your $80,000 a year, you are not paying half to the government, you are keeping it all. The exception to that is Americans. If you live in the United States of America, you will, or if you're a United States citizen, you'll be taxed on your worldwide income. Americans are unique like this, but they deem you you are a tax resident wherever you are in the world, and the USA will tax you on your global income. You can lower it, there's certain things you can do, but it's why so many Americans, I think 5,000 a year, are renouncing their US passports, especially if you don't live in America. Why the hell are you paying tax? But it's a shame. People born in America are just bombarded with these huge tax bills, and they are therefore feeling the need to renounce their passports and buy a new one. If, on that note, you would like information on how to set up an international structure and acquire a second passport in a more tax efficient country, then comment passport below and I will send you the information.